Hello everyone, welcome to Study Table. My name is Swati and in this video we'll be talking about the Spring IOC container and the dependency injection. And here we'll be talking specifically about Spring Boot. So if you are new to this channel and you have not yet subscribed, I would like you to please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you do not miss any further updates from the channel. So let's start the video. What is an inversion of control? Well, inversion of control is a design principle in which the control of object creation, its management of the entire life cycle is transferred from the developer to the framework. Which means whenever we create an object, what do we call an object here? We can call it a class, object can be a method, object can be a function, object can be fields. So whatever we have, whatever we create in our application, the management of that object and the control of that object is transferred from us to the framework by the IOC container. Okay, so IOC container is a core part of the Spring framework and it handles the life cycle of Spring beans. You can also call them beans or objects, and it manages their dependencies whatever dependencies is needed and injects them wherever needed. So how does IOC container injects those dependencies? Well, it injects them using the dependency injection. So since IOC is a very fundamental concept where the object creation and life cycle is managed by the framework and we do not have to manage that. So whenever we write our program, so instead of managing those dependencies ourselves, instead of downloading them, inserting them into our code and then calling them whenever we need, if we need a class then we import that class. So doing everything manually and taking care of everything ourselves, we give the responsibility to the Spring container कि okay, you manage it, and they do it with the help of dependency injection. So how does the dependency injection work? You can either use from the pom.xml file when we create our application in start the spring.io, and or you can use your IDE. You can also create an application there, such as in Visual Studio Code or in Eclipse or in IntelliJ IDEA. Then in those places you choose your dependency that you need, the starter dependency such as web or data JPA, such or RabbitMQ or any other dependencies, and you save. And when the application is created, those dependencies are reflected in the pom.xml file, which is in the file structure itself. So Spring sees those dependencies and it understands, okay, these are the dependencies that I need to insert whenever they are needed. And when we create a class, we annotate them with specific annotations. Like in this example, you can see that this is a main class and this is the entry point of the application, and this is annotated with the Spring Boot application. Now this is telling the framework that okay, this is a Spring Boot application and this is the main application. And initially if you are creating your application in Spring framework or in Spring MVC, you will not use commonly do not use the Spring Boot application. You can also write the @ of configuration, use @component scan and Spring Boot configuration, but Spring Boot application embeds all these three annotations in itself. So whenever this is used, then the components that are used in the application are scanned automatically. The configurations that are provided, they are listed automatically, and the Spring Boot injects them wherever needed by itself, and we do not have to manage that. So using this approach, loosely coupled applications are created, which means those applications, different classes are created. Multiple applications can be linked to each other, and they are loosely coupled, that they are not very tightly linked to each other, and they are not like much dependent on each other, where objects do not need to know about how their dependencies are created. So since Spring implements these dependencies through the dependency injection, and the dependency injection allows the framework to inject the dependencies whenever they are required at runtime. So whenever the application starts running, whatever dependency is needed, the dependency injection pulls those dependencies and forwards it wherever it's needed. Okay. The IOC container is represented through the application context. If you look into your code, that you will find the application context in the XML file. And there are three ways in which the dependency injection can be inserted. either through constructor injection, through setter injection, or through field injection. The constructor injection is the most preferred method, and here we'll be creating an example in constructor using the constructor injection, and we'll see how that works. Okay, so let's create an application which uses the constructor injection to understand how the Spring IOC container works. And the dependency injection allows the framework to inject the dependencies whenever they are required at runtime. So now here we'll be creating an application in Spring Boot, and we'll go to the website start.spring.io. Okay, you can also use your IDEs to create your application, but this is an easy way, and you can easily create your application here. So here I'll be choosing Maven. The language will be Java, and I'll be using the latest version 3.4.0. Okay, choose the name that I want. It will be on my name, and the artifact ID means the name of your application. So here I'll name it as small language. Okay, and this will be some practice project for Spring Boot. Okay, and the packaging will be jar. So before you start this, you need to check the Java version, because I think by default the latest version which is there on your app on your system will be taken. So you can check the Java version that is there. Either it can be 17 or 21 or 23, but make sure to use the Java version 17 or the upper versions after that. Uh, Below Java 17 will throw an errors to your applications. Okay. And here now we add the starter dependencies here, whatever we need. So first of all, we need the web dependency. I'll choose this. And one is for DevTools, that this will automatically restart the application and reload in real times, so that I do not have to refresh every time. These are the two dependencies that I need right now. And now I'll generate the application. Okay, the application has been generated. Now we'll go to that location. And now unzip this. Now we'll open the application that we have created in our IDE. So here I am choosing IntelliJ IDEA, and now I'll open the project. This is the one that was generated, and you can check the folders here and click open. Okay, trust project, and now this project is being opened. Here you can see the directories. This is the source directory under which the main class is there, which is annotated with the Spring Boot application, and this is telling the framework that now this is a Spring managed bean, and the life cycle of this bean will be managed by the framework itself. Okay, and this includes the configuration annotation, the component scanning annotation, and also the enable auto configuration, as you can see in the description. Now there are different in the resources section. You can as your project progresses, you can add various things here. In static you can add your images and all, and in templates you can add the your HTML files or your view files in whatever language you are creating, in React or in any other thing. You can put it this here, and in the test folder you can write your tests, and this is the main file here, which is the pom.xml file, which tells the framework that these are the dependencies and this is the detail of the application. To whoever is working on the application, they can always refer to pom.xml to check whatever dependencies are there. If they want to add new dependencies, they can also add dependencies here manually. So this is the dependency that we added, the Spring Boot starter, web, and DevTools. Here the test is also given, and this is the Maven plugin which helps you to create jar files. And this the Java version 23 is taken into this because I have Java 23 in my machine. So you can check your Java version by going to terminal and typing Java dash dash version, and you know the version of your Java in your machine. And here you can see the group ID that we created, the artifact ID, the version that I have chosen, the name of the application, description, everything is given here. And this is the main file that Spring refers to before you start creating anything. That okay, these are the dependencies, and whenever they are needed, it injects them automatically. Okay, so now first for create a new package, and the name will be controller. Okay, and here in the controller package, we'll be creating a new interface here, right? And the name will be language interface. Okay, and we'll write the method void choose language, choose language, and string language. This is like that I'm creating a method here, choose language, and this is passing an argument of string language. Okay, this interface has been created, and this is error is showing because this is not used, but we'll be using this interface, and so this error will be gone. Now here it'll again create a new Java class by the name of Java language. Okay, and here we'll be implementing the interface that we just created, and the name was interlanguage interface. Okay, and this error is implement methods, choose language. Okay, and now we can add our own method here. Java was chosen. Okay, and we'll annotate this class at service interface. Why? Because this is providing us the service. Okay, and this will tell the Spring Boot that okay, this is a service class, and this is providing service to the other application, that it is this will be we will be using this, and the message will be printed. And this is now a Spring managed bean, and whatever whenever this class will be needed, Spring will automatically inject it whenever it's called. Okay, now we'll be creating one more class because we want two classes to work, and I'll name it as Python controller, Python language. चलिए. Okay, and again we'll annotate it as the rate of service. This is a service class, and here we'll again implement it the interface. Okay, and we will implement the missing methods here. And again print the same message, and here the message will be Python was chosen. Okay, simple method and a simple query that print the message Python was chosen. Okay, now a new class which is a controller now. So here we'll create the language controller. Okay, now first of all, in this class, first we'll call these two classes that we have created. So in this class we'll be implementing the constructor injection, and we'll be calling all of these classes, and all of these classes code will work in this class, and we'll be using the constructor injection here. So first we'll call all these two classes, which is the Java language and the Python language, in this um, language controller. So first we'll write public final and the name Java language. Okay, and the second one, public final Python language, pylang. Hmm? Why are we declaring it as final? Oh, no problem. And now we will be creating a constructor here. Okay, and we'll be using both of these. So now we are annotating it as auto hired. That is, now this is a Spring managed bean, and whenever this dependency is required, then Spring will inject it at runtime. So whenever this method will be called, then whenever this method will be called, then this will be injected at runtime. So auto hired will is managing that now, and this is managed by the framework. Okay, and here now we'll be creating two methods here. String. And sorry, we have created a method named as Java language, which has a parameter of lang, that is the language. And this Java language is this one, the final Java language. Java language is the object here. We are calling this here. And choose language, that is the method, that was the interface method. And this is calling this the value that we'll add, that we'll enter at URL. So this will place that value here, and this will return us me the value Java chosen. But I do not want to print Java chosen here. I want to write that what I have chosen, the lang, okay, plus was chosen. Okay, so this will tell me that whatever what I have chosen here. Hmm? Now one more method for Python. So I'll copy this and will paste it here, and this name is a Python language, and here we'll name it as py lang, choose language, return this was chosen, C small. Okay, and now we'll annotate this class as rest controller. Okay, why? Because this is a controller class which is managing all the beans, and all the methods are called here. And rest uses the HTTP methods. So annotating with the rest controller will help us to manage routes with it. That I can now use get mapping and post mapping with my class, and when whatever method I want to call, I can call it on the URL. Okay, so I'll be using rest controller here to get routing. Okay, now I'll annotate this method with at the rate of get mapping. Okay, and the path is /java. Okay, and the same for here. And the path is /python. Okay, now we'll run the application. Okay, this now come to the main class and run. Now Tomcat started on port 8080 as you can see, and now we localhost 8080. Okay, now this is throwing an error because we used the routing as Java, and now we have to choose lang as equal to Java. Okay, now Java was chosen, and now if I use Python and the language is React, then React was chosen. And here if I change it to say Scala here, then Scala was chosen. Okay, so this is, you can see that the controller is now working. Okay, so this is how you do the constructor injection here, and this was the constructor injection that I did. And first we created an interface that had a method of choose language, and in this class we called it as a service class and created a class, implemented the interface, and uh, used the method. And a default message was printed, Java was chosen. Here also in Python we use the method, and but in language controller when we use this, and we use the we call those two classes and create through the constructor injection, that is we call those two classes and um, use the routing here in the method with a custom string that we wanted to use and printed our message. Okay, so this was all for this video. If you found this useful, please subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to share with your friends, and keep learning, keep growing. Thank you very much.